Hey, it's Heidi Dawson, and this is Wednesday Wisdom, where I interview wildly successful people from across the world, where we get an inside view into what their daily life looks like. Success leaves clues, and on Wednesdays, we're finding them. Join me now for the latest wildly successful interview. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 73 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast, and welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. So today my guest is someone that knows a lot about women's bodies, gut health, our hormones, and also how to regain vitality through food and how our mind plays a huge role in healing our bodies. She's just got so much information. She's a certified nutritionist, but also a rapid transformational therapy practitioner. And I have to admit, I had to look that up, but we're going to talk more about that. And then honestly, the more research I did on her blog, the more excited I got to interview her because everything she talks about is so interesting and beneficial to us. So now that I have you super intrigued, let me introduce you to Olesya. Am I saying that, Olesya, correctly?
Usually, I say it Alisa.
Alisa.
But I know the spelling is so different because it's a Russian spelling, right?
It's beautiful, Alisa.
Thank you.
Yeah, the last name is easy, but the first name is beautiful. And I really was thinking, oh, Olesya.
Oh, in Russia you pronounce it Olesya. But it's Olesya. But a lot of people have problems with pronouncing it Olesya, even my husband. So it's Alisa.
Oh, Alisa. Okay. All right. Well, we'll do Alisa then.
Okay.
All right. So I have to be honest. I had to Google what an RTT practitioner was, but then I realized I was kind of familiar with it from Melissa Peer. I'd seen TED Talks and things on her. And I want to ask you about that in a few minutes. But first of all, let's find out a little bit about you. I mean, can you tell me a little bit more about you and exactly what you do?
Yes. Well, I help. It was a long journey, but right now I help women with getting to the real root causes of what's going on with their bodies. And I help women to uncover all the beauty and energy that's hiding beneath the constant, maybe chronic health problems. So they could rediscover their motivation, inspiration, zest for life, because this is the most important part to me, because why do we want to be healthy? It's, women body is like her best instrument. She has with her whole life. And the thing is, the way you treat your body as a woman is the way you treat your life.
So true.
You cannot be healthy without being happy. And nowadays, we know so much more from the Heart Math Institute, from a lot of teachings, from a lot of things like Joe Dispenza, beautiful people do, that our thoughts create feelings, and these feelings create chemical reactions in our bodies that we call hormones. So you cannot create balanced hormones, beautiful body, health without addressing these chemical reactions that are brought in, by thoughts and feelings. That's important. Plus, we women are magical creatures, and it all goes through our power. If we're happy, if we're calm, if we have joy, we're vibrating with the universe. I'm kind of spiritual junkie.
Yes, I love that.
Yes, and we create everything from our business to our health through that magic of feeling good. So it's very important for a woman to treat her body right, and then treat like her emotional health the right way. So we can choose the thoughts. You don't let your thoughts dictate you. You are the master. You are the goddess. You are this magical being who needs to vibrate with the universe. And when you do vibrate with the universe, all your wishes come true.
I love this so much. Like, I'm getting goosebumps. Because
Yeah.
I feel so in tune with what you're saying, because it is very true that everything that we think and the way we treat our body is crucial to our happiness. And you said that you can't be healthy without being happy, and it vice versa as well, right? You can't be happy without being healthy. So
yes, vice versa, totally.
Oh my gosh.
And it's all connected, it's all beautiful dance. That's why we come to this life, to experience, to to know our truth, to test our magic. You know, the guys, they're different creatures for sure. They kind of like guard the universe, and we create with the universe. We can, everything that we are like a fertile soil. Everything that you put in, we can grow. We can grow abundance, we can grow health, we can grow children, we can grow anything. So that's important to remember and treat yourself the same way. Every day that something comes to you that upsets you, you know, children running around, you think it's hard, you just remember, is it worth for me to get upset and push away all my dreams and desires and my health and everything? Or it doesn't worth it? And I am the creating being, and I create with the universe. So if I stay calm, like repeat after me, calm, joy, and happy, that's what I create my health. That's when my body can heal. There is nothing in this world that can't heal by our happiness and love. We create this universe.
I agree that I agree with that with my entire being. It's so true. So that we are going to have so much fun today, and we're going to learn so much. And I always start out with one question that is talking about our morning routine. Now, I know that you have small children, and I also know that I usually get a varying answer when I interview people that have small children on what their morning routine is. So do you have a routine in the morning that you could share with us?
Yes. Well, when I do have small children now, my daughter is 4 and my son is 6 months.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
it's getting a little bit harder and harder. But the very first thing that I want to say is ask for help. You ask angels, again, universe. I hope you're not tired hearing that.
No, yeah.
But also, I asked my parents to help us. So my mom, she's from Russia. I'm originally from Russia, and I've been here for a while, but they were like, before I had children, they didn't want to move here. Now they're thinking about it, but they agreed to come and help me. So I'm the lucky one. And before, when my mom wasn't here, I was, delegating, I hired some help. So it's very important for women to remember, we don't have to go through everything ourselves. But we need to understand also that people don't know how we feel, what's going on in our world. So we have to reach out. This is so simple, but it can create miracles in your life. I reached out, and my mom helping me now. So when I have like really hard time during the night with my baby, I want to kind of like save the night breastfeedings because it's important for me. And it's for every woman, it's her own, but for me it was important. So I let them be. I don't sleep train, I don't do a lot of things. So when it's so hard, I wake up, and my morning routine is always kind of support my body, my beauty, and my soul right there in the morning.
Support
so I like to
your beauty and your soul. I love that.
Yes. So for my soul, and you know how, and it was a big issue for me, how we wake up and constantly we're trying to reach out for our phone. There is Instagram, there is Facebook, and it's a poison for our soul, especially if we have very sensitive, like gentle soul. We always compare ourselves. We women, our biggest critics. So right there in the morning, we're like, oh my goodness, look at the Jessica, look at Melanie. Oh, they're living life and I don't. And here you go. You right away, you're not in that vibrating with the universe mode. And all of your desires that you're dreaming about, they're pushing away. You are the only one who's pushing them away. So what I do for me, I can even sometimes, and I do use Instagram for businesses, Facebook, so I can't get rid of them. But what's helping me, I uninstall it in the evening, like the whole app. And that way I don't have time. I don't reach out for the Instagram. And whenever I need it, like at 11, 12 p.m., I uninstall it. It takes 2 seconds.
Okay, I have to tell you that I love you so much for that. I had to uninstall completely TikTok, right? Because it is a time sucker, and I was just like ridiculous about that. But I love the idea of uninstalling Instagram at night, because I do also work on Instagram. Yeah, but it can be just such a distraction.
Yes, it's a distraction, and you go there for business, and of course, Melanie and Jessica's life sucking you in right away.
Right, you're like, oh my gosh, what are they doing today? Yes, look at that beautiful body.
Yeah. And I'm all for inspiration. A lot of beautiful, amazing women inspire me.
Yes.
And it's all good. But if you are, if it's somewhere jealousy is a little bit there, just limit their presence in your life. But and again, inspiration, it's not about how they like, what kind of car and stuff like this. So a lot of inspiration I'm looking for in the morning. So I find, again, it's, you can buy audiobook of a person, of a woman who inspire you so much, and you don't have time to read it. So I do the audiobook in the morning as soon as I wake up. Or it's like beautiful messages on YouTube. There's so much on YouTube. You can educate yourself better than in college sometimes, just from YouTube. So I found a woman. Usually I like to be in this kind of like energy of women more, and sometimes I do I do like some men who are, teaching me something creative. I love that. But in the morning I like this woman energy. So I find the one who I listen to, and I right away, instead of the Instagram, I turn on this YouTube video and I get, oh, this is so much inspiration. Sometimes if I really have a really have time for myself, I do a meditation, beautiful meditation. Actually, I created one myself recently. So if your listeners, your tribe wanna check it out, I would be happy to.
Absolutely. And, when we get to the end, I'll ask you how we can get in contact with you. I'm going to write it down actually. Yes. Let's make sure we get that meditation, because I'm a big believer in it. I do it every morning. So it's very, very helpful. And sometimes it can be hard. So it's nice when you have a new one. So that's awesome. So you have body, beauty, and soul.
Yes, and with it, just to listen to something inspirational when I like brush my teeth, wake up really, and if my baby is with me, he doesn't mind too. He listens with me.
Yeah, and you don't know what it's doing to their little brain. It could be helpful.
Yes. And then I brush my teeth and I go outside right away. I do a lot of lab testing with women, and when I do the Dutch test, I see their cortisol pattern. Whenever we incorporate this going outside, the very first thing, you go outside for a little bit, 5 minutes, to get that sunshine right in your eyes, I see the improvement in the cortisol pattern right away. So if you can go barefoot outside for just 2 minutes, all my routines is just literally 5 minutes inspiration, then I go outside, I grab my baby. If it's really early, we can see the sunrise, and when I go outside barefoot, sunshine in your eyes, I do some breathing exercises, like 4 times. I inhale, I count to 4, then I hold my breath and I exhale. The exhale should be longer always.
Okay.
That's how it's, you're getting more energy, and how it's healing and revitalizing for your body. And you don't have to, for us, the morning routine doesn't have to something that you hate. A lot of times I do the contrast shower, so it's cold and hot, and sometimes yes, I like to do that, of course, if I do have time. If I don't let it upset me. You don't need to have morning routine that you're going to hate. If you miss it, it's okay. It has to be pleasurable, again, because that's how we attract everything in our life. That's how we create these happy hormones. That's how we create that serotonin. So it has to be pleasurable. If you absolutely hate something and some guru telling you to do this, do not do this.
Don't do it. So let me ask you this then. Does a cold shower or the cold contrast bath, cold and hot, does that help our hormones?
It does help our hormones. You have to be careful with the cold shower if you have problems with adrenals, HPA axis dysfunction. Also, if if fertility is an issue, which was a long time for me. So you have to be a little bit careful with that. And again, if you absolutely hate it, don't do it, especially in winter.
Yeah. So
right? Instead, what you can do is to just wash your face with the very cold water. That's helpful too.
Okay, that's reasonable. So what I'm hearing is that you are saying that the morning routine is important as long as it's not stressing you out if you don't do it. But enjoy it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I love that. So you do some sort of nature, which I think getting out in nature is peaceful and it calms you down. It calms me down immediately. My mother is a gardener, and she said when she works in the earth, that that's something that is, it changes her whole mindset. So half the time we can't get her out of the garden, which is really beautiful, you know? So I think that's beautiful. All
and
right.
you know what's I'm sorry, one more thing. What's important, when you talked about your mother, this is the best present she can give to her health, actually, to be outside in the garden. Because I do combine energy and science. I know what's going on with our body when we touch the soil, when we breathe this morning, like this morning air, when we go to the park, we breathe in the microbiome that is outside, and that's important for our microbiome in our body and in our gut. Also, when we touch the soil, if you go outside, touch the tree, touch the dirt a little bit, we get these minerals. We get, again, microbiome and the minerals. We're so deprived, we're so lacking in these minerals because the water we drink lacking of the minerals. We don't go outside, we don't get that sunshine. Between 11 and 2, it's really important to go outside. Always go for a walk, get a little bit of sun.
What
Touch
about
the soil.
if you live in the city?
The parks, and at least you can go outside and find a little bit like lawn or something where you can stay barefoot. You can touch the grass, touch it, be a little bit like touchy-feely with the world outside of
love it. I love that. Okay, so that's all wonderful. So that's your kind of your morning routine is basically, you're not tied to it, but you definitely have one that you know will benefit you for the day. Do it. So,
and of course, when I do have more time, when it's not with the babies, I do the dry brushing. That's for beauty. It's really good, and it takes, again, everything that I do takes 2 minutes, like maybe 1-2 minutes. Dry brushing is amazing too for detox, for the beauty.
Does that help dry skin?
Well, I'm not sure if it's really helpful for dry skin. If you put a lotion, well, it can be, because it's kind of shading the first layer. And then if you put a lotion afterwards, it's definitely make your skin
just a side
feel better.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Since we were talking about routine and I want to ask you about sleeping.
Sure.
Do you have a certain amount of hours that you sleep a night? And is this affected by your hormones?
Yes, totally. Well, usually I like to sleep. Well, it varies from person to person, right? And everybody has their own number that is good for them. For me, it's 8 hours. Sometimes I don't, especially right now, I don't get 8 hours, of course, but I do understand that sleep is the most important part, actually. Sometimes people think that it's their diet, but it's actually sleep. When you do sleep, your liver can breathe in, it can regenerate, it can cleanse your hormones, your estrogen. If you do have problems with low progesterone and high estrogen, and conditions like PCOS, endometriosis, polyps, everything that's kind of like depending on what's going on with your liver, what's going on with your microbiome, this is the time for you to regenerate, cleanse your body. The only time, sometimes, if you don't do intermittent fasting, this is the only time when you don't eat, actually, when you don't digest your food. And the melatonin, the hormone, the sleep hormone that probably everybody heard about, that it helps us to fall asleep and stay asleep. It's your beauty hormone, especially for women.
Melatonin is your beauty hormone.
Beauty hormone. That's when your body, again, regenerating, the production of collagen happens when everything. This is your beauty hormone. And with age, for us women, remember that with age, the production of melatonin declines gradually. So a lot of times, and especially for those with fertility issues, for those that get into menopause, I recommend sometimes supplementing with melatonin. A lot of people feel bad with it when they do the high dose.
Okay, that was my question, because I am very sensitive to everything. So melatonin, when I have taken it, of course, it puts me into a coma. No, just kidding. Not
me too. Seriously.
Yes. So, but the next morning, I almost feel like I'm kind of hungover. So maybe I'm taking too much.
Yes, it might be you're taking too much, or it might be not for you, and you do pretty good with your own melatonin. If you ever, like what I do, again, the Dutch test, I check the hormones and I can see the levels of melatonin. Maybe you produce enough and you don't need it. But yes, or maybe you're taking too much. For me, 0.5, it's it's like the maximum I can take.
zero
If I
point
take 3
5.
milligrams, I will be dead tomorrow.
So you've
Definitely.
mentioned this a couple times, and I want to just make sure that I write this down because it's so interesting. The drudge test? The
Dutch test.
Dutch.
It's dried urine test. And that's how I like to test hormones, either through saliva or through urine.
Okay.
Because when you do when you check your hormones through blood, it's like, well, imagine a movie and you take one picture of that movie and you think you can see the movie. You can't, right? That's
Right.
what happens with the blood test. And when we do the Dutch test, or at least saliva test, you can see the whole movie. So I can see the metabolites. I can see if your liver metabolites your your estrogens. I can see what's going on with the progesterones, DHEAs. I can see actually what's getting inside of your tissues and
That's
organs and
beautiful.
inside of your cells, because the hormones can be circulating in our body, but if we're lacking certain enzymes, certain hormones, our liver is not functioning properly. If we have microbiome where opportunistic bacteria is growing, we cannot, our tissues, our organs don't receive the hormone. And that happens a lot with women. Then when they go to a doctor and they check their thyroid, they say, oh, your thyroid stimulating hormone TSH is fine. But they go home and say, I'm losing my hair, I'm constipated, I'm gaining weight, my feet and hands are cold. How is it possible? Then we investigate, we test their minerals, and we see they're lacking minerals. We see that the reverse T3 is not working, so the liver is not metabolizing. It's important what can reach to your cell. The most important things is to remember for our health, our cells should be happy. The mitochondria is the powerhouses of our cells. Do they produce energy for us? If they don't produce energy for us, everything's gonna fall apart. You can take the supplements, you can take the, you can be on a diet. It's like putting, imagine washing machine. You put the loads of clothes in there, but if it's unplugged and you turn it on, nothing happens. If it's unplugged from the power socket,
Right.
nothing going to happen.
So,
If our mitochondria are not working, we don't have energy, nothing gonna move.
So let me ask you this then. That's something that you could do for, so you're in Oregon, am I right on that? You're in
Portland, Oregon. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then is that something you could do like for me in Tennessee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I work with people all over the world. I have
Right.
clients right now in Jakarta, Indonesia. I have clients in Europe. I had clients from Dubai, South Africa, of course, all over United States.
I saw on your you have glowing testimonials. I mean, people are
Thank you.
like so super happy with the results that you provide for them. So that is that's a testament to you, and just listening to you, I can see that you're full of information, and I love that. So we're going to make sure I'm writing that down as well. I want to make sure we get all of this information, because so many women suffer from a lot of the things you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know how, and it's not, I talk to doctors too, and they're wonderful at what they do, but they aren't focused on certain areas, and it sounds like you
Yes.
have that. So
well, they don't have time. They don't. What I do with my clients and how I like, and I try to do the courses. I try to do, and I do have courses. I try to do like the group coach and stuff. But I realized I am a type of woman that needed personal support. Somebody who can take my hand and guide me through. That's how I find a business coach, like life coach. I always find coach because it's so much faster. When somebody tells you their wisdom, I don't have to make my own mistakes and learn from them. Can I learn from theirs?
You said the education coaching to me, like having a life coach is like getting a 4-year degree in something, a business or whatever you're working on. You've already done it, and they're if you get the right one, they're so good at it. So we will.
That's how I like to work with my clients. I take their hand, and I have time for them. I have motivation. I'm their biggest cheerleader, and I don't stop until I find those root causes. If they're in their head, soul, if they're in their life, if it's in their husband causing them, or it's the microbiome, are there parasites inside, or it's their husband who is responsible here.
What happens then? No, we don't have to. Well, that's a whole nother topic. All right. So now let's move on, because I love this, and I know everybody's getting a lot of information from this. Now on your blog, you talk about one of the major hidden stresses causing hormone imbalance is leaky gut syndrome. How would we know if we had that? And is there something we could do to prevent it?
Mm-hmm. Well, what I see right now, 100% of my clients with hormonal imbalances have leaky gut. I usually do GI map test with added zonulin. That like beta-glucuronidase, zonulin usually are two kind of like telltale signs for me that person have a leaky gut. And of course, I do the testing to confirm it. But if you do have any problems with your skin, adult acne, maybe rosacea, eczema, anything with your skin, most likely there is a leaky gut problem. If you have hormone imbalances, thyroid problems, Hashimoto's, or any autoimmune disease, yes, most likely I can tell with the like 95%, 99% that there is a leaky gut there. But again, we love to put like kind of, well, of course, if a digestive problems, if there is a belching, if there is bloating, if there is food sensitivities, not the real food allergies, but food sensitivities. If you feel lethargic, if you have PCOS, if you have diabetes, insulin resistance, all these problems usually come from the gut. People think if they can put a piece of food in their mouth and they like chew it and swallow it, their digestion is fine. But it's not the case anymore because a lot of the pesticide, herbicides, food additives, and plus people are such in chronic stress. When you have this chronic stress, our nowadays lives,
Right.
it turns off our digestion, and through the vagus nerve, it influences our gut. So pretty much people live with the digestion that is not working. Plus, we don't chew our food anymore. We just don't. Like a lot of times people coming to me and they have the digestive problems. I said, I bet you if you try for 2 months, you're trying to chew your food, turn off your TV, turn off your computer, look at your food, smell it, prepare it, your digestion is going to get so much better.
Wow.
And unless we find some kind of like parasite, H. pylori or something in your gut, sometimes you don't even need that. Try that for change. And of course, if you really feel like something is wrong and you tried a lot of things, you're not that lady who is like, sitting on the sofa and eating pizza all day. You're trying so many times. It's time to come to a practitioner who know what they are doing.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's just we can really by paying attention, loving our body, and actually start doing what it needs us to do, we can fix a lot of problems. And chewing the food, like taking digestive enzymes, smelling it, putting your mouth, chewing, paying attention when you eat can save you a lot of heartache and problems with digestion.
I did a test that was we did Tony Robbins, his island in Fiji. So he did a digestive test, and they could tell from my blood work that I ate too fast and that I didn't. It was really interesting. I was like, how in the world would you know? And they're like, you need to slow down because you're not giving your body a chance to digest. Okay, so I really believe strongly that so many women, because there are women that I know that are friends of mine that do not overeat, but they do struggle with their weight. So I'm excited for them to talk to you and hear this. So now another question I have is that on your website, you talk about, you've done a lot of research. A CBD oil is kind of the latest thing. Is this kind of a fad, or is it something we should have in our toolbox for our health?
Oh, yes, I look at the researches and there are so many, and there are so many opinions about CBD oils. I say that I do have it as my toolbox, and the opinions so divided, but I do believe that it works. And I think for a lot of people, it actually works as a placebo. When they exhausted their options and they think, okay, everybody's talking about this magic. Our mind is really, really powerful. And, and they use it and it's helpful. But I do believe it's helpful. I do not think that it can be a substitute for really finding what's going on in there. It's definitely not a medication. It's definitely not something that is going to solve 99 problems. But yes, it's pretty useful. I think all essential oils, the alternative herbs. Like if you look at the supplements, if you look at these like at CBD oil and essential oils, we've been using these for thousands of years and having great results. We had these herbalists, these ladies in the village who can save half the population with her herbs.
Right.
That's what supplements, a lot of the supplements are right now. It's just herbs. You just need to find somebody like me who study it, who knows the companies that are honest. That's important, because so many companies, unfortunately, they are not honest about what they put in those capsules. And it's important to, like, I work with the Metagenics, with with the companies who are honest to their
who are being
yes, and they sometimes they do only work with the practitioners. So if you want to get these supplements, you have to go through me and stuff. And I use the full script, and when I choose the full script, I do not make money from that. I give my patients, my clients, a discount instead.
Okay.
So
that's
yes.
awfully kind of you. That's great. I think people listen.
Yes, but it's important.
From that.
Yes, but it's important to understand that, when you look at this stuff and you say, oh, this natural stuff doesn't work. First of all, they are not, like, for example, ladies taking maca root, but they have H. pylori, they have problems with their liver, they have problems with their gut. A lot of times we can't even absorb the supplements we are taking. So it's important to kind of go in there and remove everything that doesn't belong in there. Overgrowth of the bacteria in the small intestine, you can't absorb your fats anymore. You can't absorb fat soluble vitamins that are important for our hormones. Cholesterol, actually, we don't need to be scared of cholesterol. That's how we make our hormones. And then they produce toxins, and then through leaky gut, it gets spilled over abdominal cavity. It poisons our thyroid. But what I always do before we use all these amazing supplements and herbs that regulate our hormones, I go in there, put the gloves on, and they clear everything from your body, right?
Yeah,
so I clear, I reduce, I remove, and then you can absorb. And then maca root gonna help you after you can absorb it.
I think what I'm hearing, and what I would like to make sure everyone understands, is that we're talking a lot about, we both of us are really passionate about the holistic side of life and of health. And so it can be very overwhelming for people. And so what I want to make sure that everyone understands is that what you will do is take their information from their own body and say, this is what I suggest. And that's what I think people want, rather than, because they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much information, it sounds so good. But at the same time, then they go back home and they're like, okay, well, it was too much information. So what I like to do is make sure that what they understand is that you could do tests. I mean, and I don't know if everything comes from the gut test or if you have other tests that you do, but
I do.
Okay, good. Well, I'm excited about that, because
Well, the thing is, what they need to remember, the only thing from whatever I said is just two things. First of all, your body is unique. It's precious. What helps Jessica next door might not necessarily help you. So we need to check what is going on with your unique body. So you need a custom protocol for your precious body. And second is just to find somebody who you are energetic match and you trust with. And they will guide you through the steps. It's not necessarily that you need all these supplements or these techniques or all these tests that other person need. You just need your unique body to be taken care of by somebody who know what they're doing. That's all.
It's beautiful, because I can feel from your energy that you genuinely are just wanting to help women. And from your testimonials that I read, they feel like they have had transformational success by working with you. So I'm excited to get everyone that information. So, all right, I'm going to move on to the next question about our skin, because I'm super obsessed always with aren't we all trying to look younger? Yeah. I'm always like, okay, just tell me what to do. But All right, so you talk a lot about healthy skin, and you have a blog about vitamins we should be looking for when it comes to young looking skin. So can you talk a little bit about what you have found? Your skin is beautiful. I'm sitting here looking at it.
Thank you.
So you're welcome.
Yours too.
Thank
I
you.
think you found a couple things yourself.
Well, I certainly try every single day. But tell me if there's something that you found that has worked well for the women, for you and other women.
I do find in that collagen, but not actually in the form of the powder, but most in the form of the bone broth is really, really helpful for the skin and hair.
Say that again.
The
collagen
bone broth and collagen in the bone broth.
Bone broth.
Yes,
Oh.
really, really helpful. Vitamin C, liposomal vitamin C.
Yes.
Vitamin E is amazing. And what
directly on your skin, or is that something that you take
in the form of supplement? And of course, there are some products that include that too.
Okay. Yes. All right.
Switching to natural products is really, really important.
Okay.
And not everything should be natural. And I'm a Russian girl. I like my beauty. And sometimes 80% is a perfection. Come on. And sometimes I switch. Sometimes I use, not so natural products, not so natural practices, but that's okay. That's what brings us joy, what we think we should use. And of course, a lot of times I see big improvement when we go and check ferritin and iron. And a lot of women lacking actually not the iron that is in the blood, but ferritin in their liver. That's a kind of like stash of that our liver stores. Okay. And that's important for the skin. I see a big improvement in the hair health and in the skin when we taking care of depletion.
Okay.
So, and of course,
iron pill it's a food.
Well, there are abundance of iron pills. I would not supplements and pills that I do not recommend taking. I see that even infusion, like 1 or 2 times, is a lot more helpful.
Okay.
And of course, taking care again, back to square one, taking care of your microbiome overgrowth is really important, because B vitamins is really important for women's beauty and for her skin also, because B vitamins help us produce that energy. And that means when we do have energy, because, okay, look at this. If your body is depleted, if your body is tired, not having energy, having issues, hair and skin is not important for your body's survival. So it's going to pick its battles. So first gonna we're going to start accumulating wrinkles, losing hair, when our hormones are not balanced, when we don't have good ratio, and when we fighting a war in our gut. Okay, your body's going to say, hey, I'm going to pick my battles. I'm going to take care of the vital organs right now. Yeah. So it's not time producing collagen. It's not time.
We have no time for vanity. Let's survive here.
Right.
That's a very fair statement. So okay, so then when we're kind of talking about the skin, you were talking about bone broth, and I want to go back to that for a second. Do you drink it? Do you make a soup of it?
Okay, one more thing I want to tell about skin. One more thing is hydration. I forgot to mention.
Oh gosh, yes.
And what is important, you add mineral drops to your water. That's what helped a lot of my clients and myself with the skin. You add minerals to your water. You can actually find them on Amazon's, like minerals.
Just a certain type
of drops. It's there is not a company that I prefer. I think they're all pretty
good. So minerals, just minerals that it's a drop.
Mineral drops, yes. They're sea minerals. They're sound like hydrating minerals.
Oh, okay, that's wonderful. You can put that in your water.
Yes, put like 4 or 5 drops for 8 ounce glass.
And how much water do you drink a day?
I always have to remind myself, as everybody else, to drink some water. So what I do, I put like 2 2-liter bottles on my desk, and I say, hey, this is my norm.
Okay.
and then I can drink a little more, I can drink a little less. This is half your weight in ounces. That's what like recommended usually, but I just like mine is 2 liters and I put it on my desk and I know this is my norm. If I didn't drink it, bad girl.
Bad girl.
Bad girl.
Okay.
And sometimes that happens. Sometimes I'm a bad girl.
Sometimes you're a bad girl, isn't it?
I mean, I'm not perfect. Oh, I'm so far from perfect. And when I teach my ladies to do something, I'm like, yes, thank you, God, I'm teaching this. That's how I remind myself.
I have to remember. Same way with me with interior design, because that's my day job, right? So every time I redo a space or I do a new space, I'm always like, oh, I have to do that. I redo my space now. I get kind of a little bit of envy, but so I get what you're saying, and I love it. All right, so then mineral drops to hydration. That's wonderful, wonderful advice. And then the bone broth, is that something that you?
Oh, right. I do. I actually make it myself. So again, everything with me is easy. You won't find complicated recipes, complicated protocols and stuff. I just take the whole chicken. I just cut a couple of pieces to make something else. And I just put it in there, celery, carrots, and I let it cook. I let it cook for 2 hours. You can use slow cooker. You can use, pressure cooker. There are, hundreds of recipes in there. Yeah. I make myself super simple, everything. I'm a simple girl when it comes to
I think that's what people like to hear.
Yes. To be healthy, you don't have to follow these complicated diets. You don't have to have 100 supplements. It's all pretty easy. What works for you and in steps, and simplify your life. We're not here to just constantly be looking for something on Facebook, preparing these foods, follow these diets, follow these guidelines. Whatever you can simplify, what works for you, that's what that's what you need to have. And then what I do, I buy the bone broth from the store and sometimes I mix it. I do love Dr. X's bone broth powder. I do add it to my smoothies. And I find, I have a lot of, and I'm sorry if I'm going to offend anybody, I have a lot of vegan, vegetarian, paleo clients who come to me following these diets, and they're sick and they are feeling bad. So it's not about diet, ladies, for sure.
Yeah, no, I also have had friends who were complete vegans, and they were not healthy. In fact, I didn't eat for 7 years after I went to a seminar where they talked about how meat, the way it digests in your body, all this bad stuff. But then it led me to I was very low on iron. My energy was low, and the doctor finally was just like, here, you need to eat some meat. And so I did. And now I just do it in moderation. And I think that's probably
just what works for you. And what your ancestors used to be doing. If you came from a northern parts of earth where your ancestors were eating lots of meat, lots of fats, and no vegetables, yes, you're going to have problems with your insulin if you get on the vegetarian diets. And let's look at our lives. Like, let's don't always find the shiny objects. If we don't live in Hawaii, if we don't live in Bali, it's so hard for us to follow vegetarian diet and find the good foods that are going to satisfy us, so we wouldn't be hungry and miserable every 2 hours, right?
I can see where you're
we don't have that abundance available.
It's true. You're so
like
right.
Reality check. You have to eat seasonal. You have to, and again, everybody's like, oh, these goji berries. Come on, the blueberries that grow next in the farm next door are going to give you a lot more super nutrients than those goji berries. Goji berries are for goji people who live around goji berries.
I love that. That is such a good point. You have to eat for what your ancestors eat, and that may be different. I mean, what's going to be different for each one of us. Okay, so you and I, like I told you at the beginning, we could probably talk for 3 to 4 hours, and actually,
yes, okay, let's limit it.
Okay, so I want to get into we don't have to go a long way into this, but I'm really interested in the rapid transformational therapist practitioner. Okay, so can you talk a little bit about what that is and how do you use that in your practice?
Yes, well, it's a form of hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming. Right. So what I do when I told you that and you probably heard that a lot of things are coming, health issues coming from stress, outside stress, inside stress, like your microbiome, outside you hate your boss, whatever. There is some stress that is chronic and that is hidden in your body that can come from your childhood. A lot of ladies I work with had sexual abuse, and it doesn't have to be a rape. It has to be like somebody touching them the wrong places, right? Unfortunately, that's a big reality for ladies and for boys nowadays, from what I hear. Yes. It can be divorce. It can be whatever stress that you are as a boss lady, as a strong lady, think that that you don't have it anymore, that's everything okay, but your subconscious mind keeps the score. And Marissa Peer, who I learned the method from, she's like Hollywood, really famous hypnotherapist. And this is amazing practice where we go, and hypnosis is nothing to be scared about. When you watch a movie, you're in a hypnosis. When your husband has to tell you, hey, like 80,000 times and you don't hear him, you're in a hypnosis. So we go in there and put them in a hypnosis, and we go to this stress. They might think they forgot, but the body keeps the score. The body didn't forget. And we remove it. That's what I love to do, right? Remove.
Right.
We remove that stress. We go to that particular, event. And all of the stress that you didn't cry out, that you pushed, that you store in your body, it's going to create a problem somewhere. If you are familiar with Louise Hay, with her teaching on how body keeps the score, it's very important to remember. When we remove it, then I reprogram your mind. I create recording just for you that you listen for 21 days. NASA tell us for your brain to develop a new habit, you need to do it for 21 days. Sure. And they listen and we take the problem, for example, it's fertility, it can be finances, it can be, some kind of depression or anxiety about certain things. And I create, according to neuro-linguistic programming, like scripts, I create one just for you. And we completely, rewire your brain for success, for health, for abundance, whatever is your
some
problem.
People are, like you said, they're afraid of that. I'm always open to everything because I don't know. I think that I was raised where, we were kind of closed to everything. So as an adult, I found that as I'm open to everything, it opens so many doors. So I'm so interested in that. And I have watched some of Marissa Peer's TED Talks, I think. And then also I saw her on, I don't know, YouTube. So that's really fascinating. And I do believe that can be so helpful. It's definitely helped a lot of people. All right. So now I'm going to ask you a business question. You've created quite an online business. Like, your website is beautiful and your blog is fantastic. So did you do that on your own? But we kind of already talked about that, didn't we? You have a coach that helps you. Yes. What advice would you give to someone that's looking to have more of an online presence?
Definitely hire a coach. But when I made so many mistakes with the coaches, you have to find somebody who resonates with you, and don't listen everybody's advice. If you find something, if some coach, some guru out there telling you something you must do for your business, but it doesn't resonate with you, you hate doing this, you're not going to get the clients this way. True. Definitely, you're not going to attract your tribe. You're not going to attract your people. So research, find the one you want to, their method. There are so many methods. And what is important, you can, when you love what you're doing, when you love people, when you genuinely want to help, or even if you don't want to help, but your heart thinks when you're doing this, you're going to start making money from it. But it helps to hire a coach. But it's so many ways to make the money. Right. you just have to find the one that resonates with you and
the one that works.
Get these coach help.
I love that. So really just find something, and I talk about this a lot with, on my podcast and in my Instagram reels, is that if you have a dream in your mind, in your body, which I think everyone was born with a purpose, and some of us forget it, and some of us tuck it away and don't act like it's there anymore. But if you have that, and I believe most people do, then go for it. don't ever let something stop you from doing it. And sometimes it takes different paths, sometimes it takes you to this job, which takes you to this job, which opens the door to this job, so I love that. And I think you're right about that, but hiring a coach is so, so crucial to that. Okay, now, finally, this one last question. Actually, I have a couple more, but is there any advice that you would give to yourself when you were first starting out? Now, you came here from Russia 18 years ago. So this is pretty amazing, because I love, love, love your energy. And so now it makes me want to talk to more people from Russia. I want to.
Yeah.
You're so much fun. So is everybody over there like that?
Yes. We are fun people. We are very adventurous and fun people.
I've actually heard that before. You're actually, I think
we don't play it safe.
Yeah. Because I have talked to a few, and every woman that I have ever met, like, that is Russian, is always very beautiful and has this kind of a sexual essence, like just beauty. I love that. It's so great.
Yes. Well, thank you. That sounds good.
Yeah. You're like, I'll take that, right?
I'll take that. Yeah.
Okay, good. So then what advice would you give yourself just starting out?
Do not ever stop. Do not ever stop when you have these hard times that totally going to come. Know that there is always before every breakthrough, it's gonna get really, really bad. I don't know how it works, but I know now that if I really feel like everything falling apart and like everything against me, I tell, hey, universe, it's time to pick me up. Because I know it's something amazing right there, right after that. It's gonna be something amazing coming my way. Trust the universe more, because I know it's gonna come to me. I'm doing every little step right now, right in front of my nose, keeping the big picture in mind, but everything else is none of my, how they say, damn business, right?
Yeah.
Yes, because it's going to do the next step. Because sometimes we get so we're so upset because it's just so overwhelming. What's the right next step? And another one is just always keep that energy of feeling calm, feeling happy, and having joy with everything. Because if we look at it, we always have two hands, we have our eyes to see this beautiful world. We do have it's just so many blessings. Count your blessings. And I know you heard, but it's just, another big one, the biggest problem, keep yourself motivated. Because when we first start something, we're motivated, but then we start losing it. And it's normal for your mind. It wants to keep you safe, to keep you in your cave, because if you get outside of your comfort zone, there might be tigers, elephants, everybody's gonna stomp on you, eat you, and stuff like that. Right. So it's important to get outside of your safe zone and to go to these bushes. Don't be scared of these shaky bushes. You have to have your torch. Keep yourself motivated. Again, find a woman on YouTube, hire a coach, somebody who can pick you up if you need it. And pray to the universe. Don't forget, until you ask your angels, subconscious mind, whatever you believe in, if you believe in God or universe, if you don't ask, you're not going to get it. Ask your mother-in-law, your husband, the universe, angels, like Saint Michael, whoever, whatever. Ask.
I love that so much. That is really, 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 really valid advice. And I have felt that too, where before every breakthrough, it's going to be really bad.
Yeah.
And that's really good advice to anyone out there. If you're in the middle of something and you think that you'd want to quit, it's don't quit.
Don't.
Keep going.
I see whenever I wanted to quit, that meant that I'm like literally one step away from the win.
Yeah, it's so funny. When I was at a Tony Robbins seminar one time, and he said, anytime someone would say, I'm confused, he would give them a standing applause, and he would make everybody applaud for them, because he was like, you're about to have a breakthrough.
Yes.
And so it's exactly what you're saying. All right. So this has just been fascinating. I could actually talk to you for 4 hours, and I think we could. How does someone work with you? I mean, how does that work? And what's the best way to find you?
You can find me. Actually, I don't make it complicated, and I do reply to everybody who reach out to me on Instagram, that mindoverbody.me. You can go to my website, which is you can either type in Olesya Wilson, Olesya Wilson.com, or mindoverbody.me. That's also my website. And you can click on schedule a call with me, or you can simply reach out to me on the Facebook or Instagram. I do reply to everybody.
Okay, awesome. Well, I will.
And I usually work one-on-one. I do have some courses and stuff that people want to sign up with. But if you really want to, for me to just give you an advice, you don't even have to work with me. I genuinely try to help. And when I have time, we can talk and I'll tell you honestly, hey, if I can't help you, I can refer you to someone. If I can't help you, I can tell you, and you choose if you like me, if you trust me that I can get you out of your trouble, I'll get you out of your trouble.
I love it. You'll be looking for me on your schedule.
Oh, that sounds good.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.